YouTube is a great platform for building a subscriber base, building a brand, connecting with people, building and reaching a community, a network, a family like we have done here. And with that being said, I want to thank each and every single one of you for continuously coming back and watching my videos, giving them all a like, and for subscribing to the channel, as well as new viewers who are here for the first time. Welcome. But with that being said, we are reaching a fork in the road, and this could potentially spell the end. And unfortunately, a lot of you may not be happy to hear this news that I have to share with you, but changes are being made. Channels are evolving, as well as the company and the leadership and the CEO of YouTube, where YouTube just recently saw the CEO step down and resign, replacing the longtime ties with Google, once being dubbed the landlord of Google, which is kind of funny. But the YouTube CEO, or previous CEO, Susan Wojcicki, I might be butchering this name very, very badly. She has resigned, and this is literally the end of her acting role as CEO for YouTube. Now, this may not necessarily immediately have an impact and affect viewers, subscribers, nor creators, or even more importantly, the advertisers. Now, obviously, the most important part of YouTube really comes down to the creators and the viewers that keep it running. That's what got it started. But really, if you think about it today, YouTube being a near, I believe, $30 billion a year industry, or as far as its revenue, mainly from advertising, it relies heavily on the advertisers to keep that money rolling in. And it is experiencing pressure from other competitors like Twitter, TikTok, and Rumble. So what happens now, what happens next could be anybody's guess, but odds are the changes that we are likely to see moving forward will not necessarily be widely accepted, especially by what I would assume would be a vast majority of you guys, the viewers who continuously support and watch my channel, and the subscribers, and those looking to gain access to the truth. And I'm going to explain that to you here in just a moment. But first, this video is brought to you by all the free links in the description down below. Folks, go check them out. Tons of free, valuable information down there, and ways to contact me if you'd like to discuss certain topics in private, or go into greater detail and in depth into some of these discussions and these topics, with one of them, much like YouTube's primary concern is revenue, being just that a lot of people have been asking me about, more so here lately, with developments in the news, changes in the economy, changes in the job market, changes to the dollar, the US dollar, the world reserve currency, cryptocurrency, the future of currency, the future of cryptocurrency, central bank digital currency, CBDC, BTC, Bitcoin, XRP, Ripple. The list goes on, folks. And finding ways to solidify and produce sustainable revenues and income streams outside of the traditional 9-to-5 traditional sources, or one single source that very, very many people rely on and put all their eggs into these one baskets, only to potentially be vulnerable and at risk from any form of disruption that could occur, especially those that are out of your control. So check the links down in the description. Free links for anybody who wants to have access to free stocks from Moomoo, and other investment in diverse opportunities, because remember, folks, my 3 pillars: diversity, security, and cash flow. Very, very important. If if these are not super important to you, or you've already achieved these pinnacles, kudos to you, congratulations. But feel free to chime in and engage with others and help others do the same. Because I can guarantee you that if you have diversity and security and cash flow, they are still important to you. So these are still going to be topics that are going to be of great interest to you, I believe. And so Susan Wojcicki, I'm tearing this name up. A longtime Google executive who played a key role in the company's creation, is stepping down as YouTube CEO after spending the past 9 years running the video site that has reshaped entertainment, culture, and politics. It's crazy how YouTube has reshaped politics. Not in a good way either. And it says that in an email to YouTube employees that was shared publicly, the 54-year-old Wojcicki said she is leaving to start a new chapter focused on her family, her health, and her personal projects that she's passionate about, but she did not elaborate on her true plans. It says that Neil Mohan, I really hate butchering people's names, but Mohan, M-O-H-A-N, could be pronounced as Mohan or Moen, I think. And it seems like every article I come across that I'm reading that I don't like prep for, I get hit with these crazy names. So I'm not butchering these names on purpose or intentionally trying to be rude. I just don't know who this guy is. Neil Mohan has worked closely with Wojcicki for years and will replace her as YouTube's CEO. And you would think I knew YouTube CEO's name, having been so involved with YouTube, but I really only knew her as Susan, because we referred to her as the algorithm as Susan, but we never really touched on her last name. And although she became one of the most respected female executives in the male-dominated tech industry, Wojcicki will also be remembered as Google's first landlord. And shortly after Google co-founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin incorporated their search engine into a business in 1998, Wojcicki rented the garage of her Menlo Park, California home to them for $1,700 a month. Page and Brin, both 25 years old at the time, continued to refine their search engine in Wojcicki's garage for 5 months before moving Google into a more formal office, and later persuaded their former landlord to come work for their company. And it would be, according to her, one of the best decisions of her life. In 2006, Google bought Wojcicki's home to serve as a monument to the roots of a company now valued at $1.2 trillion. And during Wojcicki's career at Google, I hope it's Wojcicki career at Google, Brin became her brother-in-law when he married her sister, Anne, in 2007. But since divorced in 2015, and Wojcicki's departure comes at a time when YouTube is facing one of its most challenging periods since Google bought what was then a quirky video site facing widespread complaints about copyright infringement in 2006 for an announced price of $1.65 billion. The all-stock deal was valued at $1.7 billion by the time the transaction closed. Although Google was initially ridiculed for paying so much for a video service whose future appeared to be in doubt, it turned out to be a bargain. Besides becoming a cultural phenomenon that attracts billions of viewers, YouTube also has become a financial success with ad revenue totaling $29 billion last year. That was up from an annual ad revenue of $8 billion in 2017, when Google's corporate parent Alphabet Incorporated began to disclose YouTube's financial revenue. But YouTube's ad revenue during the final 6 months of last year dropped 5% from the previous year, and the first extended downturn that the video service has shown since Alphabet peeled back its financial curtain. Analysts are worried the slump will continue this year. One of the reasons Alphabet's stock price has fallen 11% since it released its most recent quarterly report 2 weeks ago. And this was released February 16th of 2023. So, this is very important because I'm seeing and I'm hearing exactly what they're just talking about. So I'm seeing creators' views and their reach reduced, and I'm hearing the same. Now, let me explain. So as I do my research, as I do my own personal analytics to further understand and further improve on my skill set, being YouTube, content creation, the algorithm, reach, revenue, earning money, making money, building businesses, and helping other creators in the process through Patreon. And so I see the views going down because the data is there. It's easily trackable. But I'm also hearing it from creators asking me, hey, what's going on? And this is really shocking and surprising to say the least, because YouTube's algorithm has made a significant change, And they don't necessarily broadcast this before and or during the change. So that leaves the creators and also sometimes the viewers to sit and wonder and question what happened. The viewers will say, well, what happened to my favorite creators? I don't see them anymore. Have they stopped posting? And the creators will say, what happened to my views? Have I done something wrong? Because I'm not getting as many impressions and I'm not getting as many views, and ultimately I'm not getting as much ad revenue from the videos that I make. A lot of these creators have been doing this for years. So they have a consistent track record in history of theoretically what to expect. So when there's a drastic change, ultimately a reduction and a deduction in some instances, it's pretty clear and pretty obvious that something happened. But typically the creator will say to themselves, subconsciously more than likely, that they've done something wrong. They are doing something wrong with their content. They're doing something wrong with their titles. They're doing something wrong with their thumbnails. They're possibly doing something wrong or have done something wrong, which has flagged them with the algorithm and shadow banned them. There's a variety of different possibilities that could be rolling through these creators' minds, besides the simple fact that YouTube has actually made a change and they just didn't let anybody know. Now, sometimes YouTube makes changes that cause problems and they break things. And we experienced that in December. And honestly, I believe early December, since they made the change, but I think it was very clear when they made the change because they broke something when they made the change. So most creators will attest to this and say that at that time they noticed something changed, despite what they've been doing, how long they've been doing it, and how it typically, consistently, historically worked, doesn't work the same anymore. And it was clear because YouTube even came out and admitted that they broke something, and they were actually deleting views from viewers. Viewers were watching their view counts decline and disappear, having had 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1,000,000 views on a video, only to check back a few minutes later to show that it had 0 views. And also, their revenue associated with this loss of views, was it ever going to be restored? Was it going to be repaid retroactively? Large creators, one of which came out publicly, Philip DeFranco, and he says, hey, YouTube, what are you doing? You know, you're taking away views. It was at that time, in my opinion, that the algorithm was changed drastically. And within that change, they broke something. They did fix it, but since then, the algorithm has changed. Now, you can look around, you can see whose videos have the most views, who have the least views, whose subscriber counts have gone up, whose subscriber counts have kind of leveled out. And still, I'm receiving reports from a lot of creators saying that they're still left in the dark and they have no clue on how to fix this and are considering leaving YouTube for good. Meanwhile, revenues are down. Does this play into the change? Does this play into the likelihood that YouTube is no longer going to be a great opportunity for creators and entrepreneurs to leverage the platform for revenue and reach and building businesses? Does this mean that me personally, Kevin, I'm done with YouTube altogether and I'm going to pack it up and delete my channel and disappear forever? As far as the answer to all those questions, the only one that I can tell you for certain is that I'm not going anywhere. And actually, I'm continuously building more channels at the same time. But I am sticking to my 3 pillars of diversity, security, and cash flow. I'm not going to get into that into this video, but there's a reason behind that. And if you guys want to know more, feel free to contact me. You know how to reach me. It's in the description down below. But revenues are going down while YouTube is continuously pushing to fix that. You know, YouTube wants to continuously make more money. But with this organizational structural change, with the new CEO coming in to replace Susan, we are going to see, more than likely, this change to the algorithm was his push. Although not CEO at the time, more than likely, this was his push. What does that mean for the future of YouTube? What does that mean for the future of creators? It means that you're going to have to step your game up, okay? You're going to have to become better educated, which we always try to do here on this channel. Become greater, increase your level of information. You want to be informed, you want to be educated, you want to be knowledgeable, which at this point in time, 17 minutes into the video, I am quite sure that all of you fit those characteristic traits, because you wouldn't be here at this point if you weren't, okay? It says that YouTube appoints a Web3 friendly exec as new CEO, and YouTube's new CEO, Neil Mohan, previously emphasized that NFTs could be an important tool for the platform's content creators to develop additional revenue streams. YouTube is constantly working to create incentives to incentivize the creator to, obviously they're going to take their cut, 60-40, 55-45, whatever it may be. YouTube's continuously working on that. Now they're introducing NFTs for a variety of reasons. And if you know me, you know that 1, I don't promote NFTs on this channel. And 2, I called NFTs about 2 years ago as a creator's friend, if done right. And I see YouTube and their new CEO, Neil Mohan, and this push for NFTs and greater security and enticing the creator to align with it as a huge step towards the future of content creation and copyright. And that's where NFTs come into play, especially with OpenAI and ChatGPT hitting the scene. We're probably going to see an influx of copyright questionable content overwhelming the system, which, as it overwhelms the system, it will overwhelm the advertisers, because the advertisers do not want to spend billions of dollars connecting to AI. They want to connect to consumers who can buy. They want to connect to shoppers with money. They want to connect to people. And folks, take it for what it's worth. This is my opinion. But in my opinion, I think AI's biggest flaw, and perhaps maybe the biggest flaw that you may not necessarily see identified in a lot of the YouTube videos that are rolling out now as ways that OpenAI and ChatGPT can make you a lot of money on YouTube, what it lacks, what AI lacks, is just that, opinion. So eventually, AI is going to begin to consistently repeat itself, because it's only gaining information from the data that it has access to, that has been verified and qualified and vetted for AI to pull from. But AI cannot have an opinion. It can only produce data. It can only recreate and rephrase and reword existing data, and it can't produce an opinion. It can produce projections based on factual data, but what it can't do is read this article and form an opinion based on what it knows, what it has experienced, the people that it talks to, and just that raw gut feeling it gets from creating content, posting videos, engaging with the community in the comment section, and just talking to real people in real life. Because you got to imagine and understand how much information exists in the real world, in people's brains, in their minds, in their conversations, that never hits the cloud. It never hits the servers at Google and Bing, and will possibly, even if it did, wouldn't meet the qualifications and vetting process to be able to have AI access it to formulate what ChatGPT can accomplish and other programs in the works. These are going to be great tools for creating interesting images and visuals and augmented reality and virtual creators, virtual avatars. But it won't necessarily, in my opinion, take over from a creator standpoint, for the fact that it will lack that creativity and the ability to formulate an opinion. Think about how much content you watch is based on opinion. Think about it. But we need to be paying attention to it, because it's going to change and shape the way that the new algorithm and future revisions to the algorithm are going to behave, and how your content will react with this new algorithm coding behavior, potentially influenced by OpenAI and ChatGPT and other features like that, to ensure that you can continuously grow and reach your existing audience and potentially new viewers to grow your audience. As we are probably well aware that YouTube is, and Google are in hearings with the Supreme Court over a possible ruling, Section 230, I believe, that could potentially change recommendations for YouTube and would change the game forever. Because if YouTube can't recommend, because of the fear of possibly being liable for people doing stupid things based on the content that they've watched on a platform that housed that content and provided that content on a server, it's going to change the process. Now, it could change the process similar to how Robinhood changed their investing process, and you had to, physically attest to understanding the risks associated with investing, gains and or losses. That could come into play, but that would disrupt the recommendation process. But at the same time, as a lot of creators will say that, or a lot of channels will put videos out, if I were to start a new YouTube channel today, 2023, this is what I would do. Or, YouTube is no longer worried about search. YouTube's only about browsing the homepage, and the algorithm is only chasing, what people like. It's going to change that. It's going to change it drastically. And search will be a monster. And if you want to know what I'm doing for it, preparing for it, and how you could do the same, then by all means, feel free to reach out to me. So it says here that Google-owned YouTube has appointed Web3 friendly exec Neil Mohan as its new CEO following the departure of Susan Wojcicki. I think I'm saying it right. And she stepped down from YouTube on February 16th after 9 years at the helm, outlining plans to start a new chapter focused on family, health, personal projects. And during her tenure, she oversaw the pivotal introduction of the revenue sharing model, amongst other things. Moving forward, she will remain an advisor for Google's parent company, Alphabet. And yeah, so YouTube's going to continuously move to draw the revenues from advertisers and continuously push for creators to drive the creative process to create content for views to share the ads. YouTube cannot do it on its own. Like, YouTube is the meeting place. It is the commons area. It is the middleman. And before becoming the new CEO, Mohan served as YouTube's chief product officer and oversaw the controversial removal of the video dislike button, the introduction of YouTube Shorts to compete with TikTok, and YouTube Music. So he's got plans, okay? Removal. He oversaw the removal of the dislike button. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Granted, on the back end, the dislike button is still there. Creators can still see the analytics of who likes and dislikes their content, but it shields and hides the truth from the viewers. Viewers only capable of seeing how many people like the content, and that's it. There can be no negatives. There can be no contrast. There can be no debate. Introduction of YouTube Shorts. Okay, cool. Don't let TikTok take all that market share. Have a stab at it. And YouTube Music. I have no issues. I have no qualms with YouTube Music. I used it when it was Google Play, and now it's YouTube Music. No issues. In terms of Web3, Mohan outlined tentative plans in February of last year to integrate a host of new features such as Ediverse-based content experiences and content tokenization via non-fungible tokens or NFTs, much to the dismay of the NFT-hating community at the time. I think NFTs have a place. I think right now their place has been misused and abused, and potentially has given them a very, very bad name and a black eye. But I think NFTs do have a place, and if anyone could theoretically leverage NFTs for their intended purpose, YouTube and Google would definitely be that company that could pull that off. They have the infrastructure, they have the ability, they have the technology, and they have a need for it. They have a use for it. And if you want to know how NFTs would benefit the creators, just reach out to me, connect with me, because when this happens, which I'm pretty sure it will, you're going to want, as a creator, you're going to want to jump on this fast, quickly, ASAP, okay? And odds are, in my opinion, who will jump on this first will probably be the mainstream media news, which is going to cause a problem for a lot of other channels and a lot of other creators, much like myself, that would leverage mainstream media's content to provide clarity, opinion, and more importantly, the truth. As well as I see TikTok jumping on the NFT bandwagon as well, based on how many creators I see leveraging TikTok Shorts and TikTok Reels to create their videos, to create reactions to, etc., etc. Now, it says here that, in particular, Mohan emphasizes that NFTs could provide a new way for creators to engage with their audiences and develop additional revenue streams, and he cited the potential for creators to tokenize their videos, photos, art, and experiences as examples. This is the intended purpose for NFTs, and the reason why YouTube would want to do that is because YouTube's going to take their cut. They want to facilitate this process and this ability to do it based on the strength of the creators and their communities and their subscriber counts and their followings and their brand loyalty so far, and get a cut from it. Web3 also opens up new opportunities for creators. We believe new technologies like blockchain and NFTs can allow creators to build deeper relationships with their fans, and together they'll be able to collaborate on new projects and make money in ways not previously possible. And YouTube's all for that, because YouTube knows as the creator continues to make money on the YouTube platform, YouTube continues to make money. And guess what? This is by way of the viewers engaging on YouTube as consumers, driving up revenues so that YouTube doesn't only have to rely on advertiser revenue dollars. They're building out their diversity income cash flow plan, folks, as a security measure against declining ad revenue, ad spends by advertisers, potentially as we are entering into a recession. Think about it: diversity, security, and cash flow. And YouTube is literally executing this right in front of our eyes. Despite being intended to potentially roll out last year, the Web3 related plans are yet to materialize, but could be set for another push in the near future, given that Mohan is now leading the firm. And yeah, he's in charge. So he had an idea, but now he's calling the plays. So his idea may become a reality. And following the news of Mohan becoming the new CEO of YouTube, there has been a surprisingly limited amount of FUD from the feisty NFT skeptics on Twitter, who are usually quick to flame anything to do with reports of mainstream connections to the tech. But yeah, I think the biggest problem that we face here is how this could potentially be censored. And Mohan is on the side of censorship and control. Obviously, he removed the dislike button from public view, as well as played a key role in implementing an anti World Health Organization ban at the height of the pandemic, basically flat out saying anyone who disagrees with the WHO is in the wrong, demonetized, potentially banned, potentially flagged, potentially shadow banned, potentially channel deleted, potentially like repercussions. Okay. So we got to be careful with this guy here and what he plans to do and what he wants to do. But we also got to, be aware of his true intentions and where he stands. And he stands for profitability, potentially a specific narrative, and silence of what could be construed as conflicting, debatable, contrasting topics and views that, again, like I told you, are based on folks' opinions that OpenAI and ChatGPT and other technology just cannot fathom. But if there's a strong push for that tech, then it can just continuously push the narrative. So folks, we got to pay attention. We got to be aware. We got to be careful. We got to be alert. We got to continuously be educating and increasing our level of knowledge and information, and deciphering and discerning what this information means, not just taking it for face value. You don't take my videos face value. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, which is ironic, as I'm constantly creating content, trying to share with you guys and educate and inform. But but it's because I want you guys to formulate your own opinions. I want you guys to formulate your own opinions and not just run with anything and everything that you hear or you see, because oftentimes it can be misrepresented, misinterpreted, or just completely untrue. Again, folks, if anybody is interested in learning more about developing and building out their social media, specifically YouTube, and specifically the changes that are going on YouTube, building your channel, starting your channel from scratch, or improving your channel, growing your channel, gaining increased reach, building out your brand, increasing your subscriber count, getting more views, getting paid more money, increasing your CPM and your RPM, and the other diverse income streams and passive income streams that can stem from YouTube content creation, which is huge, folks, huge. Please feel free to reach out and connect with me. My info is in the description down below, as well as a bunch of other free links that I think are very helpful to people trying to improve their financial situation. Thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, you guys take care. Be safe. I'll see you real soon. Bye.